The Lord orders the steps of his righteous ones. So if we surrender to him, when we surrender to him, when we leave it to him, when we give it to him, he will lead us on that path. But if we try to do it in our own mind, try to figure it out on our own strength, just think that we know and we listen to everything else, then we're in problem.
JP. Whoa. Whee, better wake up. Whoa. Better shake up, shake up.
I wanna wake up.
Whoa. I'm taking you on a journey of a day in life with me as a, in my brain, stay-at-home mom, stay-at-home wife, stay-at-home something, a master's student, a business owner, something. But anyways, just spend the life with me. I don't have all of these titles together. So this is how I start my day. So my son was just up and I fed him, changed him. Matter of fact, both of my sons were up. One just wanted to cuddle so he could go back to sleep. He'll wake up in the next 2 hours. He gets up around 9 a.m, 10 a.m, depending on when he went to bed. And he went to bed at 9, 10 last night. And then the other one, the baby, wanted mommy. So mommy had to feed, mommy had to change, and I had to pump. And I was on the phone with my mommy because I wanted mommy. So after I've done all of that, he kind of knocked out a little. I realized that he still wanted to sleep, and so I brought him to his dad. So now it's me time. I like these early mornings because it's quiet, guys. Yesterday I was screaming because they're screaming. My husband talks loud, the kids are loud, and it's just always noise. And so I went for a walk in the rain. That's how much I wanted peace and quiet, and it was so good. So yeah, in the mornings it's really my time. I take my time. This is when I really talk to God, like pay attention to the word. And yeah, so first thing first, I don't like a stinky mouth, so I brush my teeth. So can I share something with you guys? In my head, I'm not using this kind of toothpaste, you know. I'm using an all natural toothpaste, you know. Yeah, I don't know why not translating into the real life, why it's all in my head. I had washed my face before, and guys, I get in some breakout, but even that, I have my natural stuff on my face. Where are they? In my head. I don't have it in real life. I'm not touching it, but in my head I'm using my turmeric scrub that is made from turmeric, which is natural, and honey, which is natural and nothing processed there, in my head. But the reality, I have this turmeric mask, but it don't really mask. It don't really give mask. It give gel. Yeah. So I need some facial products, but as I said, this is a real day in the life of me, Olivia. I woke up, well, I turned at 3 o'clock this morning, and there was sunshine. Not real sunshine, the UK sunshine, but I was shocked. And then I woke up at 4:30 and it was bright. So this is, yeah, this is how it's been looking from 4 o'clock this morning. That's weird for me. So this morning I'm going to drink some apple cider vinegar, and I do this in the mornings. Honestly, this is not for the camera. I know people do that things for sure, but this is me being me. And anything you say, what I like, when I don't say it, and I really don't care. But yeah, why do I care? I do care. No. I think I was talking to somebody yesterday, and they were telling me that, you know, when you start university, or when you do university at a certain age, is very different. Your priorities are different. Your experiences are very different. And I've done university as a young person, and I've considered people like in their 20s, like low 20s. After 26, you're like, I'll say like, you're a baby, you know. I consider like very young. So I did university in my teens, 18, 19, you know. And my priorities, no, and not because I'm a mom. I'm talking about like in the academic sense. It's so different, you know. And it comes with age. Honestly, it comes with age and experiences, I guess. But yeah, like then, I mean, I was focused on getting good grades and thinking that that's all that matters. But no, that's not it. Anyway, so this is the episode of vinegar with mother. So I've been taking a shot of this basically. I like this bottle. I don't know, it's kind of, I got a lot and it was like, I don't remember, probably 2 pounds. On the other hand, I'm going to have some fruits. I normally do eat my fruits and probably like a little bar of something while I'm having my quiet time. But this morning I'm going to share a bit about what came into my spirit during my quiet time, or share my quiet time with you guys. So cheers. I've been doing this for years. If you're ever going to try this, just know it's an acquired taste. I've been drinking this for more than 6 years. So, and if you've noticed that I've lost weight, this is a contributor. Yeah. Also, I'm pretty consistent with my exercise. Pretty, not all the way there yet, but pretty. And I'm going to take my iron tablet, guys. You would not want to believe how black my fingernails have been, like especially after giving birth. Oh boy, they sent me home with a ton load of iron tablets, but I hated those, and I really don't like taking tablets because in my brain, again, I'm all natural, you know. So I'm not taking them process and them thing like iron come from food, so I'm gonna eat the food, but I'm not really eat the food. So that's in my head. So my husband bought some iron tablets and they've been phenomenal. So I need it for energy, guys. I'm not drinking any more of this because my stomach already start going. Oh. Anybody love banana? I don't know. I feel like we probably not have it. If we have nothing else to eat, then we go take a banana. So take a look. So grapes, apple, and what is this? Tangerine. Them call it easy peelers. And I'm like, it's called tangerine. It says easy peelers. I'm like, okay. There's no tangerine on it. I've never seen it. My son calls it oranges. Guys, I'm just chatting because I don't know nobody to talk to. I'm gonna feel like I'm under this. I'm starting. They said, put out the content, sis. Put out the content. This is my content. Like it or not, this is what you get. It's not. We'll probably do something for the camera now. I'm gonna take me eat it early because this tastes so bad. I need to talk to you guys. And in the midst of all of my stuff. So my Bible over here, school stuff over here. In the midst of all of that, this is what I found. So I'm gonna get rid of this and come back. Okay guys, so I'm going to get started. So this morning I woke up with a dream, and I'm a dreamer, and so I took the time to write down my dream. So, but after talking to my mother, praying, I went on TikTok, and I realized there were some lives going on. So I saw one live and I scrolled. There was another live and another live and another live and another live, and I wasn't on the live. It was just the For You page, just lives popping up, and I was there thinking like, interesting. What was interesting to me is that majority of these lives were prophetic. They had like prophet this, pastor this, gospel music playing, and then the opposite to that, which is still in the same category but opposite spiritually, were tarot card readers, psychics, and all of these things. And it dawned on me that people, because in the comments I was on one, and he was praying and saying, you know, giving prophetic word. I stopped because I heard, Olivia, you're gonna go in a new job, you're gonna get this position, you're gonna get a pay raise, blah blah blah. And I heard my name, so I stopped. I didn't scroll. And I realized persons were in the comments putting their names, and he was prophesying. And I heard I saw someone post that, Lord, speak to me, I need to hear you, I need to hear you, I need to hear you, so speak to me. And she kept writing her name and writing her name until he said something to her. But what came to me after moving from that to going to other, like just randomly, and other things popping up, and the psychics and the tarot card readers and all of that, and a lot of people on these lives, and the reason is, it shows how people are desperate to hear something from God. That you know, I don't know a lot on the prophetic, like to say about anybody's title or anything. I'm actually learning now, so I don't have a lot to comment on that. But what I can comment on is like I'm not the prophet, but how I want to hear the Lord so bad about something in my life, to feel some sense of peace and comfort that, you know, he's with me, he has everything working out. And it just kind of, there are two ways to look at it. It's kind of one way is, oh, why don't you go to the Lord yourself, you know? And like, oh, why you have to be relying on somebody else, why you don't just go to the Lord. And the other way of looking at it is just how people are lost and are seeking some form of direction. And I know what it feels like to be lost. I know what it feels like to not know what tomorrow is gonna bring. But I think if you are a believer of Jesus Christ and you're following the word, you will know that that is expected. That's a part of the process, and that's where faith comes in, you know, because he knows the end. You don't. He's the map, he's the guide, like he knows. You don't. But he's asking us to rest in him, to trust him, to let him be the driver. And a part of the dream that I woke up out of is that somebody came into my car, and the person put down their bags and they're like, drive. And now while I'm talking to you and thinking back on the dream, I'm recognizing that this person was not of God, because the Lord would be the driver. I have no idea what the next 3 months of my life would look like. And I'll be very honest. I am desperately asking the Lord for his direction. And that may sometimes ignite the desire to hear from somebody else. Like, Lord, tell the prophet to tell me, you know. But I'm also learning, I think this morning, what I could take away from just that few minutes of seeing so much lives in the prophetic and so many people like engaging in these lives, is because people want to know. They want a knowing. And there's this unknowing when you follow Jesus. There's this knowing, but it's also an unknowing. Like, there's this uncertainty. There isn't any guarantee. The only guarantee is that is based on what he says in his word, that he will never leave us, that he has us, you know, the good things, that the plans he has for us are good. So the holding on to that, taking a step by step, is like blindly moving, but hearing the voice to say, go right, go left, that you do. That's the faith. That is really faith. And the thing is, a lot of people are not strengthened in a way to do that. They are opening their eyes. They're trying to open their eyes to hear, to see, in order to move. And I'm not judging anybody for wanting to go to a prophet or seeking after a prophet to get a word. I know what that feels like. Trust and believe. I know what that feels like. And but I've also learned in this season too. I think for the past 5 years, God and I have been on this journey. And I've also learned to rest in him. Like, him literally tell me to shut up. He literally tell me to be quiet. He literally tell me to sit down. He literally tell me not to do. He literally tell me to go. I've heard his voice. And this is why I'm here, like in this country. This is why I'm doing my master's, because the Lord said so. I heard it clear as day, you know. But then I can also recall that in the moments before hearing him, that I was seeking him. And seeking him requires a stillness. We cannot be so caught up and distracted and doing everything and listening to everyone when we want to hear from God. Too many voices is noise. Too many sounds creates noise. It's chaotic. You're gonna have to do more work to discern what is right and what is wrong, and then you're gonna be pulled in different directions, because most of the sound don't align. They're not creating a rhythm. But whenever there comes a point when there are certain things that are being projected at you and they're all saying the same, pay attention. But you get that clarity when you wait, like when you just take a break and process it. So I feel like that's the word that I'm getting today, because I was reading 1 Samuel 2, Hannah's prayer. And for those who don't know, I'm not going to give you a Bible study on Hannah, but I read 1 Samuel. Hannah had Eli. No, Samuel, sorry. Yeah, Hannah had Samuel, and she brought him to the prophet Eli. But what stood out is that it says, the Lord brings death and gives life. He sends down Shiloh and he raises others up. The Lord brings poverty and gives wealth. He humbles and he exalts. Right? This is Hannah's prayer. But I want to jump to verse 9. It says, he guards the steps of his faithful one. And that's all I'm going to say. Let me read everything. Verse 9 says, he guards the steps of his faithful ones, but the wicked perish in darkness, for a person does not prevail by his own strength. What that is saying this morning is that you and I are trying to figure out our next move. We're trying to figure out our next step. We're trying to figure out what the Lord is telling us to do. But we're doing it in our own strength, and we cannot prevail. The Lord orders the steps of his righteous ones. So if we surrender to him, when we surrender to him, when we leave it to him, when we give it to him, he will lead us on that path. But if we try to do it in our own mind, try to figure it out on our own strength, just think that we know and we listen to everything else, then we're in problem. Hannah prayed for her son Samuel. She wept. She prayed. And when the Lord answered, she prayed again. And this was a part of the prayer, right? It starts with saying, my heart rejoices in the Lord. My horn is lifted up to the Lord. My mouth boasts over my enemies because I rejoice in your salvation. There's no one holy like the Lord. There's no one beside you. And there's no rock like our God. Do not boast so proudly, or let arrogant words come out of your mouth. For the Lord is a God of knowledge, and actions are weighed by him. I saw this word because it popped up on my YouVersion on my Bible app. It said something different. I took out my Bible and I read it. But what transpired between the conversation I had, my dream, what my mother and I spoke about, what I prayed and the Lord said, what I saw on TikTok, and what is coming to me now all aligns. And it all aligns in such a way to show me that, guess what, people of God, you're out of surgery and the surgery went successful. What he's saying is that there's good things. Your prayer has been answered. And it's going to be presented in front of people who were against you. But you may not know how that presentation looks like. But he's saying, he guards your steps. Do not try to do this on your own. Don't take up this mantle on your own. The Lord gave it to you. Trust him to carry you with it. Don't go ahead of yourself. Don't get boastful. Be cautious. Be aware. Be mindful in this season. And that's the word. The word is here. This is a word for me because, as I said, and I'm not lying, I don't know what the next 3 months looks like. And that's because I'm only here for a season. When I say here, I'm on a scholarship, right? And that's why I'm in the UK. I'm studying. This is my book. I'm doing my dissertation. Oh, the page empty, don't empty very much. You understand? I'm doing work. But at the end of this work, what's next? Because I know this is it. But there's a time for everything under the sun. So I just gotta put in the work and trust the process. And wherever you are in your season, trust the process. we need to seek the face of the Lord. Sometimes that looks like listening to a prophet, but sometimes that really looks like us staying in our quiet time and resting in Him and trust what He says to you. We don't have to be going and badgering because He speaks. I hope you recognize that the Lord cares for you. And because there's just this desperation from people wanting to hear something, I'm encouraged to share with you guys that the Lord is speaking. The Lord is speaking to you. You just have to be in the rightful position to hear.
Wake up.